What is up, YouTube? It's your boy RisKK back again with another video. And in case you guys did watch my last video, I recently uploaded a Kyrie Irving point guard build, what I call a playmaking shot creator. And I really want to keep on with these guard builds, as a lot of people enjoyed it. So in this one, I'm gonna feature a Derrick Rose build. And when I say Derrick Rose, I'm sure the first thing that pops up into your head is a slashing playmaker. I'm here to tell you that you are correct. I'm showing off a slashing playmaker, or the best slashing playmaker build in Nba2K20. So if you guys really want this build and you want to see more builds like these, make sure you drop a like on the video, drop a sub, and hit the notification bell. All of that stuff will actually help me out a lot, so I appreciate it. Other than that, let's get right into the video.
She know I keep the bag on me. How about got a couple racks on me? I'ma hit it, then I dip. No, I do not trust a bitch, cause they all be the same to me. All these thoughts always running through my head. I'ma get the bag, double back for the bread. I'd rather smoke a blunt, kicking back in my bed. And yeah, she in my line, cause she know I'm getting bread.
Alright, so we're back, and obviously for this build, yes, we're going to want to choose a point guard. Pretty self-explanatory, nothing really difficult there. We are going to be a point guard. Now, when it comes to the pie charts, in my last video, the Kyrie Irving video, I kind of, broke down all the pie charts, very briefly. But for the most part, what we're looking for in this, pie chart right here for this build is, something that can pretty much do everything, but mainly playmaking and finishing, in the order of playmaking, finishing, then shooting, and then defense. And that's the order we're kind of looking at the attributes here. So when you look at a pie chart like this, it does have the finishing, does have the shooting, but it just doesn't have the playmaking. And that what goes for most of these. They're not having all three of them. Right here, you see I have the shooting, a little bit of slashing, but just not enough playmaking. Here, I just have the playmaking, shooting, not enough slashing. And then when you get to right here, I think this is the most balanced one overall. You see, we do have the playmaking, we have somewhat shooting, we have the finishing, and we even have mid-70 defensive stats. So I don't think there's no more questions regarding which pie chart to choose, as this by far is the most balanced one, and the one that's going to represent Derrick Rose the most. Because as you guys know, Derrick Rose was, a very, athletic point guard, which is why we want the finishing, and therefore why we want, the playmaking. And he wasn't the greatest shooter, but he was able to shoot the three ball, which is why we have a 75 three ball. Now, physical profile, there isn't much to explain here. Being a point guard, you always want to choose the physical profiles that can give you the most speed, because the most speed or the higher speed you have is going to give you a way better, competitive advantage over your opponent, because you're always going to be faster than the defensive player. So the faster you are, like I said, you're always going to be faster. It's just, more about, how much faster you're going to be, which is why you want to get 95 speed. A lot of people, try to mix up the physical profile for these guards, get like a 90 speed, and you might not realize it, while you're actually playing, right away, but over time, you will notice the difference from a 90 speed to a 95 is tremendous. So I don't want you guys, to make that mistake. So just keep it simple and go with the 95 speed for the physical profile. So we're going to jump right into the attributes, and obviously, like I always do it, we're going to upgrade the most important stuff first, starting with finishing. As you see, we're obviously going to max out close shot, driving layup, driving dunk, and then right now we have 11 finishing badges. And, for slashing, players, it's always, interesting, whether it's worth, putting in, these extra 50 attributes into the post hook and the standing dunk to get the, the maximum amount of badge points. As you saw, the maximum was 16. So for right now, I'm going to hold off on that and see, how I can gauge the rest of my attributes. Because obviously, we have a lot of upgrade here. I upgrade my shooting. That leaves me with 15 shooting badges and a 75 three-pointer, which I think is very doable. Alright, on my spotter build, I have a 63 pointer and, about 8 shooting badges, and I'm able to shoot perfectly fine. So I don't think shooting will be an issue on this build. Obviously, the playmaking, a lot of people will just max this out completely and get the 30 playmaking badges, but I don't think it's necessary to have 30 playmaking badges, because, from what I've seen in this game, I just don't think it's necessary. There's a lot of badges that you don't need. I mean, nice to have, but you don't need. So that's when, when I'm going to, tweak this a little bit, and I'm going to get exactly 24 playmaking badges. So, I could actually, use these attributes elsewhere, which would mainly come in my defensive end. And, as you see right here, I'm going to have the pass accuracy lowered to 87, so, it's not too low. And I completely eliminate my post moves, which is unnecessary and it's a wasted attribute. So, thankfully, having such a high playmaking allows me to get, these high playmaking stats while saving tons of attribute points. And as you see, the attribute points are going straight into my defense. And you see right now, you're seeing about 6 defensive badges, right? But when you switch it up, and you'll notice here, when I, get all the attributes off my block and I put it onto my defensive rebounding, the badges go up to 9, alright? And, a lot of people are scared to do this, because they're like, oh, but then that's like a wasted attribute, because I'm not going to be rebounding the ball as a guard. But look, as you see with the stats there, I have my lateral quickness, my perimeter defense, and my steal, which is the most three important, badges, or I mean, not badges, but attributes for the defensive end. So that's why I don't really mind, getting those extra badge points, I'm putting them into, defensive rebounding, because I already have the main defensive stats. And as you notice, I also tweaked the shooting and playmaking a little bit, just to make sure I could get, that extra finishing badge. So that I really, met the max potential of this build with 12 finishing badges, 15 shooting, 24 playmaking, and 9 defensive badges. But guys, remember, it's always important to make sure you lower the attributes, for each category while keeping the same amount of badge points so you could actually use the most out of your actual, attribute upgrades. So, going right now into the body type, alright. You already know, it does not matter, what body type you pick. Just pick whatever you want. It's all looks. Don't worry about it. Don't stress over it. Alright, but now the height is something you do want to stress about. If you guys watched my last video, you would have, remembered or recalled that when I was talking about the height, I actually made my Kyrie Irving build 6'3" for the fact that I wanted to get the highest speed possible. Because, as you notice, when you go up in height, obviously your speed goes down. And I just finished telling you guys how important speed is. But, for the fact that with this pie chart, we got, such a, wide, or like a great amount of playmaking in it with a 95 ball control, it actually made my speed 95, for a while, which means I was able to go to 6'5", as you see right here, without going down 1 in my speed. So, but when I go 6'6", I do lose out on that speed. So 6'6" is out the question. Right now, I was just debating between 6'4" and 6'5". And I was trying to look at all the, the attributes that was adjusted. And for me, the attributes that were, like subtracted and added didn't really make a huge difference. So I feel like I just thought, that extra inch, going 6'5" was going to be more important. And that's exactly what I did. Obviously, with the weight, it's self-explanatory. You're going to go minimum weight and just get those extra 2 stats in the vertical. Once again, with the wingspan, self-explanatory, we're going to lower it all the way down to 77.0. And at 77.0, you'll see the 3-point goes up, the mid-range goes up, and typically the ball handle will go up, but I'm already at 95 ball handle, so that does not matter. Now, once again, with your takeover, do not overthink this like your physical attributes. Don't, pick playmaking or slashing, as those are just 2, fancy takeovers. Go with the most practical and, the one that's going to give you the best opportunity to actually, take over the game, which, would be the shot creating takeover. And with that being said, that really, completes the actual build. Now we're going to move on to the badges. But as you see, it says you have built a slashing playmaker, and is similar to, obviously, the number 1 player we are similar to is Derrick Rose. So that is just an example of, how perfectly I built this player according to Derrick Rose. So if you guys clicked on this video, because you saw in the title Derrick Rose, you came to the right video, because obviously this build is just literally Derrick Rose, all right? So now going into the badges, obviously we got to say, overall here, this does not matter. Don't worry about this. We're just, in the MyPlayer builder. When you're actually making your build, you will not see this screen. All right. So we're going to the badges. We're going to try to build these badges, to Derrick Rose's playstyle and, practicability at the same time. So when we think about Derrick Rose, what do we think of in the paint? We think of, explosiveness, contact dunks, contact layups. And just that explosiveness we see like in Russell Westbrook and stuff like that. So without question, we're going to go with contact finisher and giant slayer. And now Slitherly finish, I go with that because it is practical in 2K. Slitherly finish is one of the most overpowered finishing badges. So that's why I selected that in addition to the contact finisher and giant slayer. And then the acrobat, something else, I see a lot of Derrick Rose, the fancy layups that you could actually implement into your game and actually make you a really good, finisher in the paint. And obviously, I cannot get any of these Hall of Fame, so that's why I did go with 4 gold badges in case you guys were wondering. Now, same thing applies to shooting. With shooting, you only get them on gold, as you see, which kind of is a bummer. But luckily in this game, gold quick draw can do enough for you if you are a guard. So we actually do go with gold quick draw, gold range extender. And that's where it's get interesting, all right? We could go with the obvious, which is Hot Zone Hunter, and then Green Machine. But we only have 3 left now, all right? Typically, a lot of people would go catch and shoot, but let's think about this. How often are you shooting the ball? Off the catch, at least. How often would you be shooting the ball off the catch? If you're playing on the 2 squad, the ball's going to be in your hand most of the time. If not, you're dishing it for an assist to your center. If you're in the 3 squad, the ball will still be in your hand unless you're spotting up for another point guard. So when it comes to this last, 3 attribute upgrades, it really depends on your play style, who you're playing with, and stuff like that. If you're going to be sitting in the corner, throwing, go catch and shoot. If you're going to be, holding the ball the whole time on the 3's court, over dribbling, trying to be a dribble god, then you should probably throw on, tireless shooter, maybe gold. Or if, you're just going to shoot the lights out, throw on volume shooter, a dead eye. So I hope you guys understand what I mean by that. For me, I think, the catch and shoot on bronze and volume shooter on silver would work best for my play style. Once again, just try it out, and then, you know, eventually you get the hang of it and figure out exactly what you're looking for in that third, you know, or not the third, but the fifth badge on this build. So now going into the playmaking, I'm going to show you guys exactly why I wanted 24 playmaking badges. Alright, this year ankle breaker and tight handles are useless. A lot of people are looking for these 30 playmaking badges to actually get those Hall of Fame, when ultimately they do not help you in any way. You do not get ankle breakers in this game very often. So we're going to go with the most, you know, 4 common badges, which are going to be Dimer, Handles for Days, Quick First Step, and Floor General. And that leaves us, you know, a few more badges that we could, you know, potentially get. Alright, as you see right now I threw one Bailout Hall of Fame, and then Unpluckable Hall of Fame, because realistically that is the best, you know, thing to do in this game. But if you play 2K, you'll notice that you don't need Bailout Hall of Fame. I think Silver would do you just enough for you to be able to pass out of every shot unless a lockdown is in your face. And Unpluckable is literally useless in this game as well. Obviously it's neat to have, but it is not necessary to have on Hall of Fame. So with that being said, you could throw those 2 on Silver, and then you can mix things up, you know, with the Silver Needle Threader, Silver Downhill. At that point, it's personal preference, but I think it's, you know, in any, you know, type of manner, shape, or form, you're going to want to, you know, try to have at least Bailout. Unpluckable is not really necessary, but if you actually are planning to pass out of shots, Bailout is necessary. So in my play style, I throw a lot of lobs for rep, so I would go with Silver Lob City Passer and then Gold Bailout, but that's just me. So, you know, once again, like the shooting, with those last attribute upgrades, you know, kind of, you know, just pick them according to your play style and how you play. And, you know, that's what I love about this year in 2K, the custom ability you have to your own play style. Now, the defense, once again, for me, you know, this applies like playstyle. I plan on playing on the 2 score. On the 2 score, I'm going to be hammered by screens. I'm not going to have a lockdown in order to guard the point guard. So I most definitely need Gold Pick Dodger. Now, I do have a 70 steal, so pick, you know, pocket could be a possibility. But I just don't think that's necessary, because I don't think I need to be reaching on somebody who has 90 ball control. Alright, I just don't think that's a smart idea. So I do decide to put on Gold Claim so I can prevent getting blown by when I go against other slashers like myself. And I think Gold Intimidator, you know, honestly completes the build in defensive end, getting me a high shot contest to make up for my lower perimeter defensive attribute. And with that being said, that will completely wrap up this video. I hope you guys did enjoy this video and the entire build. I hope you guys do use this build, go crazy in the park and all that stuff. So if you guys have not yet, make sure you drop a like and a sub on the video. Hit the big notification button to be notified when I upload. Risk is out.
Funny how now she be calling me back. She see that I got it, I'm stuck in the trap. 40 autos, let me put it right back. 40 autos and he left in the back. I can't be trusting cause people just act. I get the money, I run it right back. The plug on my phone, I get to these racks. The plug on my phone, I'm gonna get back. I can't be trusting cause people be switching and